My daughter, a new threat comes to our shores, and I must call you home. Restore what has been broken. Unite.
Well, hello, and hello to you too as well. The lovely young Anya Stroud from Gears of War, who I created with my crazy AI hands. Now I'm taking the place of Smash JT today. He's taking a day off to watch Super Bowl 59, and I hope he enjoys that game because my money's on the Philadelphia Eagles, because since Taylor Swift is a psyop for the opposite side, the Kansas City Chiefs, I hope they lose tonight. Although the NFL apparently has a long and dirty history of fixing their games, which I think is absolutely terrible. And speaking of games that need fixing, Wonder Woman, that monolith game that still hasn't actually surfaced with anything brand new. Well, I can tell you why. Because it has an activist writer behind the scenes called Tanya DePass.
Who?
Exactly, I have no idea who this chick is, but this video is going to break her down today. Not mentally, but if she ever gets wind of this video, and speaking of wind, here's what she looks like. The big mammoth whale you see stranded on the beach in England, that's her. And yes, I'm going to make fun of her appearance and her weight because it's a free-for-all on the internet, and by all means, anybody can take a pot shot at me as well because I don't care. I'm a stupid dude in a stupid room with his stupid bandana making this fun video for you today, folks. So without further ado, me and lovely Anya right here, oh my god, are going to get on with the opening titles. You can stop smiling now. Alright, just carry on please.
He's fearless, careless, a little too careless.
So this article from Paul Tassi, he really glosses over the main issue with his Wonder Woman game, why it's already in deep trouble. Like, it's gone over $100 million and all we've had is a farty trailer from over 2 years ago and nobody really cares. So what this article is actually sourced from Jason Schreier, but I don't give a shit about that guy because he's an absolute moron and he blocked me as well. So the only credit he's going to get is his name in his video, nothing else, except for the fact I'm going to paraphrase his article. So there are bigger, badder and more poopier problems over at WB Games at the moment, which all goes back to 2021, a much troubled year because we came out of lockdown from the year before. So one of the company's biggest bets in development, a video game based on Wonder Woman. Now, stop right there, because why is it a big bet? Was anybody harking or begging for a Wonder Woman solo game? I mean, if you're thinking about Gal Gadot and her live action version, you're probably leaning against that. But let's face it, I mean, that's kind of done and dusted with now. We're not even going to get a Wonder Woman 3, which thankfully, thank God, because number 2 is an absolute shit show. So after all the turmoil that led to the WB Games, David Haddad, no relation to Gigi Haddad, soon stepping down from his role, which was not exactly a surprise. The report says, what report, who cares? In addition to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, WB also lost a lot of money on titles like Harry Potter, Quidditch Champions, and Multiverses, because who the hell needs those? The latter of which is being shut down later this year. Cue the fail music. And this is Wonder Woman from the Injustice games. I mean, that is a terrible, terrible design. Yes, she's got titties, but she looks like she got slapped with the ugly stick once too often. Well, that's all I can say. Commiserations, WB. You make shit game designs of popular, sexy DC characters, male or female. Oh, actually, I beg your pardon. The male characters always look way hotter than the female ones. Then what do you expect? Now, what this article neglects completely is that Tanya DePass, a real-life monolith herself, she announced herself as being the senior writer for the Wonder Woman game. So just take a look at Tanya and then take a look at Wonder Woman. And yeah, you can kind of probably see where this might be going in terms of a directional narrative for a beloved DC character who's more than 50 years old. So on her IMDb page, and that is a scary ass picture, she is the director of a non-profit organization, which actually is a lie, by the way, because you're about to see that, based in Chicago, because she's a proud Windy City girl, which is dedicated to better diversifications of all aspects of gaming. So in other words, if you're a white guy or a girl, you're not allowed to play video games, but we've got to make it more of a black entertainment thing only. Again, when women invade the male gaming space, get them out. Let them do their own thing in the far corner of the universe. We don't want them near here.
Avoid women directors. They ovulate.
This is her. She's an experienced director and senior writer of the Wonder Woman game, except on IMDb, that is not officially announced. It's not been made aware of. So Alex Markman is still the writer apparently, but that hasn't been amended on here. And as you can see in the background, the Wonder Woman trailer is playing and is absolutely god-awful. She looks awful. She looked terrible in Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. She looked more like a nun than somebody who's a beautiful native from the island, the Greek island of Themyscira, right? None of that rubbish. So why do we have to put up with that? So again, I wonder what's going on there. I Need Diverse Games, which is DePass's website and her organization. If they're a non-profit organization, why then do they have a Patreon fee going on? So why does a £1 up to an £8.50 tier for you to join? It doesn't make it exactly non-profit, does it? Unless I'm missing the point here, folks. But to me, that sounds like a very calculated lie at this moment in time. And she is, by all appearances, and again, if I'll take you back to what she said on LinkedIn right here, her past history reveals that she's a director, a creative director of I Need Diverse Games, because good luck to you there, love. So what experience does she have as being somebody who's been involved with video games for a long time? Yes, she's talked about table RPGs, and she seems to have some knowledge of playing video games and the intricacies, but that doesn't qualify her to be a video game writer for Warner Brothers. I guess she's in it for the paycheck. I guess Warner Brothers are getting some of that USAID funding money just because they want to tick a diversity checkbox. So somebody called Katie Marie Collins, I don't know who she is, daughter Hulk, not related to Hulk 2R, I hope not. Me, I think whoever's on the other side is a person. End of thought process. Could be a white dude in his mom's basement, could be an Asian woman in a penthouse. Doesn't matter to me, but a person, a decent person, gamer or not, and will not get along. Be a douche and you're gone. And Tanya DePass replies, and you missed the entire point of what I was saying. Try again. Well, Katie Marie Collins seems to have hit the nail on the head in this conversation, on which I have no idea what it's about, except for the fact that I guess that Miss DePass is really virtue signaling for a specific type of character, a certain look in a video game, and Kate Marie Collins is just challenging that ideal. But again, that is the problem with people like Tanya DePass. If you dare to challenge them, oh my god, they turn into a big, fat-filled, fuel-injected echo chamber. That's what they're all for. The other misdemeanors that Miss DePass has committed. In 2018, she attempted to fire a GOG employee by claiming that that person engaged in transphobic behavior because, again, on her LinkedIn page, she's a she and a her, Miss DePass. Of course she is. She posted on X, whoever has the keys to GOG's social media channels needs to get bounced. That's twice they've been transphobic. Once with a shitty meme and now co-opting a hashtag for trans rights to sell games. Whatever, man. What? Jesus Christ. So again, if this is a woman who wants to take over the video games industry, well, she's certainly got the girth and the size, that's for sure, because she is a physical mammoth. In fact, if you threw hair all over her, she would look like the extinct woolly mammoth we've all been hoping to see a live-action version of. The game has already cost more than $100 million, said the people who asked not to be identified, discussing non-public information, and is still years away from release. And the reason why this Wonder Woman game is going to be non-existent and going consistently over budget, because they can't decide at Monolith whether it should be a single-player experience or, a live service, because that worked out well for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, didn't it? But those are buffoons, they're dimwits, and I guess for people like Tanya DePass, who's at the pass, getting all that money fed to her and a big fat black ass, I'm not surprised this game is going anywhere but nowhere. Here for a second, just come a little bit closer. Yeah, that's right. Lovely, lovely. Take a look at an AI design I made a few months ago of Wonder Woman. What you want is this: super sexy, gets you a bit hard when you look at her. Yes, I'm saying that to you, Razor Fist and Goonie Gates Gamer, Melanie Mac, and maybe John Della Rose, because those three are pantries in a pear tree. Get a vision like that. Make her kick ass in the game, maybe bring some of her Themyscirians into the mix, but make them really hot as well. And you might have the ingredients for, I don't know, a really fast-selling video game. But this is Warner Brothers of new, not of old. So beware of that going in, folks, because whatever is churned out on the backsides of these activists who now work at Rocksteady and Monolith Games, you're not going to get much. I'm sorry, but it's going to be an open and shut case like you might find on Law and Order. And you know what, Warner Brothers, you deserve what you get. I mean, David Zaslav, this was meant to be the guy that we thought was going to turn things around, but all he is a big fat white dude who wears shades, looks cool, but doesn't really bring anything to the table. He's like a behind-the-scenes guy, which is weird for someone in his position. He's supposed to be getting his head stuck into everything. If I was Zaslav, I'll be looking at the Warner Brothers Games division to see what actually is going wrong with it and fixing that straight away with a little, yep, I'm signing that off, there you go. Unfortunately, folks, here I go again, quoting Whitesnake, because it's another chapter in video gaming history which is rapidly going down the toilet. I would even say at this stage, give Wonder Woman to South Korea or Japan. License the character, or even China at this stage. License her out to one of those countries and get them to make the game in less than a year. Don't make it like one of these, like Marvel Rivals. Make it a decent game, because I think some story writing structures within those countries' games need to be a bit more improved, even though the overall gaming action is fantastic. And you've got a hit on your hands, or in my case, tits in my hands. And on that one, folks, if you were me and if I were you, you might want to return for the next video.
Okay, so it's Thetis. No one knows how to maintain natural hair. This is why there's no braids or dreadlocks or anything else that would have probably been more accurate versus really short like afros and the one kind of half-ass braided thing we get in Mass Effect. So those are things from, like, I've been playing games for years and I still can't accurately recreate myself. And
because you're black.
Okay, donut dunkers, you're gonna bring